It's crazy to think about a tiny spark of fire lighting an entire hillside, town, city, region on fire, isn't it? It's like literally starts with nothing, a tiny, tiny spark of fire. And it turns into that, and it turns into bringing an entire region of first responders on site to try to stifle the fire and put it out, and helicopters dumping water, and good things, bad things. They can start with the smallest spark and they can turn into something so uncontrollable. And one of the reasons I'm showing up here is that my goal for all of us together as a community is to stay steady instead of having that tiny spark of anxiety or stress or fear or worry or isolation and loneliness turn into something that just is reminiscent of a wildfire that is so taken off in our bodies and our hearts and our minds that it feels impossible to get it back under control. And that is really, for me, what has helped me, and I can only speak to my experiences, is showing up every single day for myself, doing self-care, doing some form of movement, doing some form of processing, whether that's writing in my journal, talking out loud, having a therapy session, calling a friend, phoning a friend, spending time with my husband, communicating, trying to make healthy choices with meals. And I know this sounds like a lot, like, oh my God, how am I going to do all those things? Even if you just did one thing, are you doing any of those things? That's my question to you. Are you doing any of those things for yourself? Because the reality is nobody thinks that they're going to turn into a wildfire. No one thinks that it's ever going to get bad enough. I think about we are over 2 years now of navigating this cancer diagnosis. I think about, what if I would have stripped away all of the ocean dips and cold baths and attempted meditation and writing and crying to a friend and walking and moving my body and lifting weights, and what if I would have just not done any of that and sat on my ass? And where would I be? I would probably be in a very bad place mentally. I'm already in a challenging place mentally and emotionally with this cancer diagnosis, and I think I would be kind of screwed if I hadn't put those self-care, healthy habits into place to keep my own wildfire of worry from really taking off in my body. We know that stress and anxiety can manifest into disease and other things, even though, we can't necessarily manage stress or what's our stress level the way we can by managing our weight, for example, and stepping on the scale. But guess what? I think managing your stress is more important than that. My hope today and every day by showing up is to share these examples with you, to say, do that one thing for yourself today. Let's not hit rock bottom. Let's not hit a disaster of stress or anxiety that completely takes off like a wildfire in our body, in our brain, in our mind, and do what we can today to keep that fire contained in a cozy little outdoor, safe fire pit where we can enjoy it and we can sit around it and we can gain some warmth from it, and there's enjoyment and there's calm and there's comfort staring at an awesome little fire, sitting around with friends, but it's contained and it's controlled, and it's something that actually keeps you warm and safe versus completely out of control. So what is one thing at the top of your notebook today? Please write down one thing that you can do for yourself today to keep that fire contained in your little cozy fire pit versus letting that completely take off and take over your day, your mind, your mental health, your stress, your anxiety. This is a really important exercise today to think about. Leave a comment if you want to share what your one thing is today. Happy writing.